This little quick demo and tutorial is for the Fabric Bowl Creative Kit. And if you are familiar with paper mache, it's kind of a modern twist on that. A little bit more, well, I wouldn't even say sophisticated, because some of the paper mache artists do amazing work. So this is just a new way, a new idea of creating paper mache. Instead of paper and your flour paste, you've got fabric and an adhesive. So in your creative kits, you're going to have your jar of adhesive, like acrylic medium, and you're going to have some pre-cut fabric strips. It equals about anywhere from 30 to 36 strips, depending on the weight of the fabric. And you need about 2 layers to create your fabric bowl. So once you have your strips out, I found the best way to apply them was to cut them smaller strips or even in squares. You're going to need your bowl that you want to work on. Depending on the shape of it, that's going to be totally up to you. And anywhere, like a bowl between the size of that will hold 1 to 2 liters is a good size, and it will be enough fabric strips to be able to cover it. So I've got a couple different, this is kind of the smaller one. I did one of these, and I've also done one of these. So I've done both sizes. So you're gonna choose your size, and you can work on the inside or the outside. I found doing the inside of a bowl, it took a little bit longer. The airflow wasn't as good to allow the glue to dry. So working on the outside of a bowl was much quicker. The process seemed to go a lot smoother, and I kept having to check it. No, it's still wet. Oh, it's still wet, because I was excited to be able to take it out of the form. So when it's on the outside, it dries a little bit faster, just so because the air can get at it. So you've got your bowl form that you want to use. I highly suggest putting some newspaper or a drop cloth or some plastic down to catch it, the mess. It is a little bit messy, but it's a lot of fun. And you're also going to need some saran wrap, so you can cover your bowl with saran wrap. So once you've got your saran wrap out to the size, cover your bowl really good, and you're going to get a kind of just an old container, dump out your glue, kind of scrape it out of the little jar and dump it into an old container. Then you're going to add some water, little bits at a time, give it a stir it up, and you want it the consistency of like a heavy cream. So give it a good mix. The first glue I had tried at my house here, there was a little bit in the container and a few lumps left over, but I ended up restarting and with my strips and doing it all over again. So again, you want it kind of, this has got some of the clumps in with my demo glue here, but yeah, there we go. So it's going to be able to run nice, and you don't want clumps in it. There shouldn't be any clumps in it. This is just my old glue that I was using and playing around with. So it's got a really good consistency. It could even be a little bit thinner, but it's going to go a little bit farther too if you want to do an extra layer or anything, if you make it a little bit thinner. So that consistency of heavy cream, get it all mixed up, pre-cut your strips. Your bowl is all saran wrapped, and you're ready to go. So I've got kind of a speed demo of me applying my 2 layers of fabric to my bowl, and then the wait time. And we've learned a lot about patience so far. So you have to be pretty patient with the drying time. If you want, you can set it by a register. But I know with mine on the inside of a bowl, I let it dry 3 days. And on the outside of the bowl, it was the 24 hours and it was ready to come off the form. So I'm gonna show you my big mess of creating my fabric bowl, and then I'll show you the end product. And ta-da! So after a very patient, well, I'm not so patient when I'm waiting for my art projects to progress, but being patient and checking it to see how it was drying. But this is the first bowl I did on the inside of a metal strainer, just because it was so nice and round and I really like the shape. And I had a few strips left over. So this is going to get another coat of my medium now, my acrylic kind of glue adhesive paste stuff. It's going to get another coat. I'm going to patch up a few places. I kind of like the rough edge of it. You can even add a handle if you're making an Easter basket, or just a little bowl to put some beautifully decorated eggs in. So this was my first one that I did the outside, and then I did the inside, kind of two different things. And then this was the one I did second, with some random scraps that were left over when I was putting together my little bags of fabric. So this one is just some random scraps, like super colorful, and I'm definitely liking it. And again, I really like the rough edge, but you can take little pieces, dip them into your paste, trim this, and then you can layer those right over top, and you can have a nice smooth edge if you like, which is going to be great too. There you go. And you have a fabric bowl. Good job, you guys.